All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of Unplugged and Unfiltered. If you don't know me, my name is Jessica McKee, and today I'm here with Alex Cole. So, Alex, do you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Hi, yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Alex. I'm a singer-songwriter from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And yeah, I'm here to chat with Jess. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, super excited. I feel like, I kind of talked to you about this a little bit before we started, but I feel like this is going to be a lot more of like a personal interview considering how long I've known you for. So I'm really excited to have a bit of a different episode for today. So that should
Yeah,
be
for sure.
exciting. You ready to get started?
Yes, I am. Let's go.
Okay, awesome. So I know you explained, who you are a little bit, but for the people that don't know you, how would you describe your music?
I would say my music is probably like up-tempo, fun, pop rock, alt pop music. It's like a lot of it's very like feel-good music, very like, what you put on when you're driving to work in the morning to get yourself psyched and stuff like that. So I think like, yeah, I feel like that'd be a good description of what what it's like.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely, I mean, besides like Stranger,
Yeah,
it's, it's it's pretty upbeat and like gets you
yeah,
going, kind of like definitely like summer drive in the car vibes.
for sure, for sure.
Um, so yeah, I definitely see where you can get that from. So, um, we'll talk about this a little bit more later too, but you are releasing an EP very soon.
I
Where did
am.
you find a lot of your inspiration for that?
For the EP, I think like I went through two situations during the course of like writing this with relationships that like didn't really work. And through that, I've been traveling and writing songs, and like that's been like a huge part of this EP is like realizing that those situations didn't work for a reason, and channeling the reasons why they didn't work through music is kind of like a good outlet to like overcome, how you felt about that or how I felt about that. So a lot of it came from that. And then also a lot of my inspiration just came from other bands that I like, and like the 1975, 5 Seconds of Summer, that whole world. So it's very like alt pop inspired, and very like there are a lot of breakup songs on there or situationship songs on there. So it's perfect for anybody in their early to mid 20s, late 20s who have experienced, stuff like that. So I think the good bulk of the EP is based around that. Um, so yeah,
So
I'm
it was kind of like
excited.
a journal for you through those times and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think like the EP has is gonna have 7 songs on it, and it's basically kind of just like a progression through like getting out of something shitty into like getting into something not shitty. So it's a cool like progression over the last couple of years of writing these songs, and then when it came down to like picking them, it just so happened to be like super cohesive with like the progression of what I've gone through into like how the songs relate to that. So it's been great, and I'm happy that it worked out the way it did.
Yeah, no, that sounds super cool. So, uh, just so that I kind of understand what you're saying it's kind of more like a, like a story from start to finish through the 7 songs of like, going through, situationships are rough
They
when
are.
you're in your 20s for
It's
sure.
tough out
So,
here.
yeah, for sure. So would you say that it's definitely like a pretty cohesive story from start to finish of like, hey, I'm in, I really like this person, but it's not going well to, I'm in love and happy now and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I think like the top of the EP down, it all works in like a natural thing of like exactly like you said, like getting out of something, and then, being comfortable to get into something that has been awesome. So it's like a perfect little story.
Yeah, I think those kind of albums and EPs are always really cool. I kind of refer to them as like storybook albums
Yeah.
because it's kind of like you can go through, the whole situation and, a
Hmm.
few songs. So I always think those are really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have a couple shows coming up as well, one in Toronto
I
and one
do.
in Nashville. How did it feel to play your first headline in Toronto last year? And do you think you'll feel differently about the upcoming shows?
That's a great question. I do have 2 shows coming up. I have their EP release shows, one in Nashville on February 21st, and then one in Toronto March 5th. But yes, last year I played my first headline show in my hometown, Toronto, which is awesome. You guys came, they drove a long way
Oh
to
my
come.
gosh, yeah, it took us 8 hours to get
Yeah,
there
you
because of the
guys.
snow.
Yeah. It was, oh my God, yeah, the weather was horrible that night.
It
I
was
do
so
remember that.
bad.
But it was like that show, it was super fun and it was super nice to be able to like play my first headline full length show in front of like all my friends and family and stuff like that. Um, in relation to this show, I think like having done a hometown like headliner already will be I'll be comfortable doing it. Although there will be like the new songs from the EP that are in the set, so new songs to learn, a little bit extra pressure. But um I couldn't be more excited to do it and it'll be great. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting. I know that you were definitely very like, let's do this during your first headline show. Like you were really, going off up there. So do you think it'll be just as exciting to, play in Nashville for the first time and hit up Toronto again?
Yeah, I think playing in Nashville, this will be my first time like playing a proper full band show there. Um And yeah, I mean, like a lot of these songs that I've written that are on the project, or even not on the project, unreleased stuff, have been written with like all my friends that are there, and it'll be cool to like play these songs in front of them and in person. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, that sounds super, super fun.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm assuming since you have, the EP coming out, you've been in the studio quite a bit. How do you feel that your experience in the studio is different from now to when you started?
I think I just know what I want to say now and like where I want to go like sonically. When I started going to like Nashville or working in like a studio with like collaborators and you kind of um yeah, I wasn't really sure of like you have like insecurities like should I say this idea or should I like make a comment about like you're not sure. And I think now working with a lot of the same people over and over again and writing songs I'm proud of with the same people over and over again, like you start to realize okay, we kind of have a formula of what works. And then going into the studio now I kind of just like I know like our process and like how to get that. And anyone I collaborate with there knows the same thing too. Like whenever we work together, we're just like, all right, this is kind of like what we're after. And I think just being on the same page with everybody I work with has been really, really like effective. Um, so yeah, pretty much just like just know how to do it.
So you'd say that you're definitely a lot more comfortable and can kind of reach that, artistic flow state a lot
Yeah,
easier
yeah,
now.
yes, for sure. Definitely the artistic flow state is a lot easier to achieve now, just working with people you're comfortable with, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you get to
Yeah.
make a lot of relationships from that too. And so it's not only like you're in a new city and you're meeting all these people and it's like, hey, like I'm trying to do this. But then now it's like you have those people to back you up. So I
Yeah.
completely understand that it's definitely more of like a fun, chill, comfortable experience now.
Yeah, totally. Because I mean, like at the end of the day, like they're your friends too. Like I mean, the same people I write music with, we go out or we'll go like see a show or like just hang out and do like non-music related stuff all the time. So it's like it makes you that much more comfortable to like have concepts that might be like really personal that you don't want to like share with everybody right away or might be uncomfortable sharing that with someone you've never met before. But like working with it's like just working with your buddies at the end of the day. So it's really easy.
Yeah, no, that's awesome for sure.
Yeah.
Do you feel that growing up in the greater Toronto area gave you an artistic edge in the music industry that people that are in more rural parts of Canada might not have?
Um, yes, I think like I didn't necessarily like grow up like in the city. I grew up like outside of the city in like a smaller town where I went to like school and stuff like that. But like anytime it came to like music and collaboration or even like sports growing up, it was always like outside of my like town and I'd be in the city and stuff like that. Um, so I think yeah, just like being around other musicians in Toronto and then even like in Nashville and then as of, a few years ago, LA too. It's very interesting to see like the difference between each place. And yeah, it definitely does give you a little bit of a creative edge. And it's also like inspiring just to see like how each place and each everybody works and stuff like that. So I would say yeah, outside of my rural town, I guess you could say. It's been like it's very cool to see how it like works.
Well, and I feel like Toronto is definitely really big on art and like music as well. I've been there quite a few times.
Yeah.
And they have, the paintings on the sides of buildings, and there's a lot of, like jazz bars or,
Hmm.
theaters that are just like underground kind of, random places. And there's so many like record stores and things like that. So I feel like it's very like artistically driven city in that sense too. Not only just like musically, but also like culturally as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
big time.
so I definitely understand how like being around that area would definitely give you more of like that kind of creative ideas and things like that. And then also like outreaching, Nashville and LA are definitely like, big music places as well. So I can completely understand how it's always nice to get those little like different aspects of, your big music cities and things like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When did you start going to Nashville to record, and what prompted you to do that?
I started going to Nashville at the very tail end of like 2022. Um, I had just started seeing like other artists and like connecting with other artists. I hate to say networking, but you're just like making friends at the end of the day. So you're like meeting new people, and it was just like via like TikTok and Instagram. I'd see like people like Caroline would show up on Instagram, and I'd be like, oh, her stuff is like really awesome. Like you follow each other and like whatever. Um, so that was kind of like how that happened. I was like, I had a couple friends that had gone to Nashville and been like, dude, like if you're really serious about songwriting, like you should come and try it here. Like everyone's really, really talented and just, come give it a go. And I was like, okay. So I thought about it, and then I didn't want to show up like with knowing nobody and like I have no idea what I'm doing here. So I made it a point to reach out to some people who I liked their stuff and we just connected that way. And one of the first sessions I did was with Caroline, and she connected me to Ryan Rasmussen, who ended up, we've written a ton of songs, and he's produced like more than half my catalog that's out. So it kind of just worked that way. And then like Ryan was like, you can come, like you can stay with me for a little bit, and introduced me to a bunch of people. And like all through this, we were just like writing tons of songs and getting comfortable with each other to, and now we get in the studio and it's like we just can write a song and it's just easy. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I started going to Nashville end of 2022 and just been writing and making friends ever since.
Yeah, I definitely feel like even from, I've been to Nashville once.
Yeah.
But from doing this podcast, it's definitely more of like a niche music community that like comes out of Nashville. And everyone that I've talked to from there is super supportive. And, even if I reach out to someone and it's like, I don't really have the time right this second, but here's a few people that might. Like it's very
Yes.
like help me help you type of, you
Big
know,
time.
um people that are over there, and everyone's so nice. So it's really
Mhm.
awesome that you were able to, meet some people, get your footing there, and, keep going back and doing all that stuff. So that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
You prefer Nashville or Toronto?
I like Toronto because it's like close to all my like immediate friends and family and it's just where I like grew up, so I know it's very like comfortable. However, I do really like going to Nashville, and the people there are like so fun, and we like always have the best time over there. Honestly, it's really hard to pick. Like Nashville being like a music city is like really fun because you can like get in an Uber or go anywhere, and someone's a songwriter or is their brother is in this band that you should go like it's always something music related, which I really like. Um, it's really hard. It's a really hard one.
Yeah, I thought I'd throw it in there just in case
Yeah.
you had a little preference, but I can definitely understand that, liking it for different reasons for sure. Nashville is 100% a music city.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to hopefully be able to go there more and explore that and things of that nature. I know a couple of people from there, and they're like, one of my good friends, she works at a bar in Nashville, and she's like, yeah, I saw so and so today, and I'm like,
Hmm.
gee, it's just a normal work day for you. Like I don't see anybody here in
Exactly.
Michigan. So,
Yeah,
but I could definitely understand Toronto too. Like your family's there, you got your friends, it's close to home. Has that like sentimental value as well. So
absolutely.
completely understandable.
Yeah.
How do you feel your music has changed in the last year, more so specifically from releasing your singles to your EP now?
I think just like it's more like the EP is more mature sounding. I think that when I started putting out music, I was like 18 and I didn't really like know, like I knew I liked the music I still like now and like was inspired by the same things. I think I just know how to like articulate what I'm trying to like make and what I'm trying to say a little bit better now that I'm older and like understand it a little bit better. Um, I think it's just a little bit more mature, you know, a
Yeah, that
little
makes
bit.
sense. You're gonna hate me for this side tangent question, but
Go for it.
specifically related to your super early music, how would you relate, you would say, your most mature song on the EP to your song Closer?
Oh, like night and day. Not even the same thing. Like Closer again, that was like something I'd like written in high school and was like, okay. And then worked with a couple people and it got changed a little bit. And it's one of those like is the second song I ever put out and I was like, you know, thought it was fun. But looking back in hindsight, I'm just kind of like I think the songs on this EP just definitely lap that
Just
one.
top it for sure.
Yeah, 100%
I know it's one of your more despised songs now, even though it holds
for
that,
sure.
second
For
song
sure.
sentimental value. But
Yep.
we love it still, just a little bit.
Yes. That's good.
How do you feel the process of making an EP was for you? Do you feel like it's different from going to creating singles and sending them out every now and then to, sending out a whole EP?
Yeah, I think being on like a single like release cycle where it's like every month, every other month, can get a little bit like monotonous. Like it's fun, but you're not really writing songs like for a purpose. You're writing a song for the sake of having a good song and putting a song out, but like the one after that could be completely like sonically different and it's just kind of like, it gets a little bit scattered. I think like with the process of writing an EP, you kind of like, I didn't really set any expectations. I kind of was like, okay, I have a couple songs here that I'm like absolutely in love with that no one's heard and they haven't been put out yet, obviously, or ever been teased or anything. And I'm like, the three of them are like really cohesive with each other. Maybe this is kind of like the starting base point foundation for a project. Um, which is kind of what I did. Like I took like two or three songs that I was like I said, like I loved, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna maybe this one will fit in here. So now I have four songs that okay, these work, and I'm gonna go do a writing trip now and hopefully get a couple more out of this. And then you get like five, six, seven, and then you're like, oh shit, I have a whole project here. And then you kind of like you go in and you fine tune it and you re-record vocals and make sure that it's like really, really solid um and then it just you create this thing that I didn't really have any sort of like I said, expectations, or I didn't set out to specifically make an EP from scratch. There was a starting point, but once you start to realize that the starting point is somewhere, you can like add and put different songs here and try this. And what if this guitar was on all of the songs so that now there's different ways to make it feel like a body of work. And I think that it's kind of what we did in the process of this.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Finding different songs that you've written and pieces that you've made over the last, few months, year or so, and then finally, stringing them together with the finishing touches. That's really cool. It's probably really fulfilling as well, knowing that you're able to create, something that's like larger and more cohesive than you've ever done before. I'm sure that that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. It's like, and then especially too, once you get like all the visuals in play, and now that there's like we have like the cover art, and like we did like a whole shoot for all the songs and everything, and I'm just like looking at it now, you're like, whoa, it's like it's just come together, and it's like really, really exciting to see, and I'm so excited for you guys to like see all of it, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah,
excited too. So,
it's gonna
where'd
be
you get
so
the
fun.
name from?
When the lights go out is the title track of the EP.
Okay.
So we wrote this song When the Lights Go Out about a year ago. and I was like, this song is I've always just like loved it, and it's very like cool, and it's like it tells a story. It's like the opening. It's like the first piece of the puzzle for, it sets you up perfectly to listen to every single song in like order on the thing. And I just think like When the Lights Go Out is a great title. It makes you think like, I don't want to spoil it, but like when you hear the song, you'll be like, when the lights go out, you'll be like, I get it, you know?
You could spoil it a little bit if you wanted to.
I could, but I won't.
No, no, that's fair.
Nice
That's
try.
fair. You just gotta sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta try. You gotta try.
What advice would you give someone who wants to start making music but doesn't know where to start with the experience that you have now?
Um, I would say get really good at playing an instrument, or like work on your, I hate to say it, work on your craft. Okay. Like what I'm trying to say is like, if you're gonna play guitar and you want to be a singer-songwriter, be the best singer and be the best like guitar player you could be. Um, and if you want to be a songwriter, write a million songs, like literally, like write a song a day. It does not matter if it's shit. It probably will be shit at the beginning, and you just like let it go, and you let it go, and let it go, and then you land on one. You're like, oh, that's cool, and I really like vibe with that. So maybe I'm gonna chase this thing a little bit more, and then you have five songs that are cool or that you like. So I would say just get really good at what it is you want to do. Um, and post it online. Like it's the only like it's a free marketing tool at your disposal. TikTok, Instagram. Like this is how I met all of my friends through music, is literally social media. And yeah, I'm really happy with the stuff I've gotten to make with my friends. So I would say that get really good at singing, songwriting, playing guitar, whatever it is you want to do in music, and then share it with people.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, especially like the social media being free marketing. I know it's always pretty difficult getting your footing in social media, and people are always talking about, the algorithm, what you need to post, how much you need to post, and things of that nature. But I think the most important thing is just like putting yourself out there to begin with. Because like I know I found you off Instagram,
Yeah.
when you were teasing Crybaby and t-shirts and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So, way back when. But yeah, so I definitely think that that's some really good advice. I think that the comment of like perfecting your craft, or whatever you had said, something similar, is definitely something that I think everyone has touched on a little bit. Caroline said something very similar, that like, you know, get good at what you want to do. She mentioned that like same thing as you, like, just start writing music,
Yeah.
and you can either put your guitar or piano or whatever first and write the song after, like whatever sandwich order you need to do, but just do it. And
Yeah.
Addison said something very similar as well. So it's really nice to see that everybody's creative process is a little bit different, but they all have the same general components. So you can kind of sandwich those and stack them in whatever order you want to make something really great.
$100%. Yeah.
So this is getting to the end of the podcast. So you have a lot of stuff coming up. I want to give you the time to talk about that. Things specifically you'd like to explain a little bit more and promote, whether that's your shows coming up, your EP, and then kind of just your social media self promo, like where people can find and support you and things of that nature. So
Yeah,
the floor is
absolutely.
yours.
Thank you. So basically, I have an EP coming out on February 20th. And we have an EP release show the next day in Nashville, March or February 21st. The week after, we're doing the second EP show here in Toronto on March 5th. Um, yeah, you can find me on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok at Alex Coles Official, and just Alex Coles on Spotify, Apple Music, all the DSPs. Yeah,
Awesome. Super cool. And as for the podcast, for anybody listening, if you want to catch us on future episodes, I say us, it's literally just me, but anyways, um, you can find us at Unplugged period Unfiltered on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram. I'm trying to make a TikTok, but we'll see about that. I don't know how to attach one to my account, but we're working on it. So stay tuned for that, future episodes, things of that nature. Alex, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I appreciate it so much. It was crazy to be able to kind of like reel into you a little bit more than some of the other people. And so I think that that was really cool for, my getting started podcast experience. So I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you for having me. It
Yeah, I hope you had a good time.
was
So,
awesome.
yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Alex, for being here. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Goodbye.